I do have one more quick question. In regards to, I know from the time I was born and all through my physical existence of a substantial amount of money that is already here in the physical. And I'm wondering now, in my now, why I haven't physically connected with it.
Most don't let their abundance in because they feel unworthy of it. Most humans think that they have to give service to receive. Now there is a give and get, but what it is focus. When we say it's time for you to cash in your vibrational chips, we mean it's time for you to acknowledge that you've amassed the abundance and that your work is to accept it. It's sort of like the conversation we had earlier.
Right.
And it's not the easiest thing to do if you have been practicing the thoughts of others who are very interested in making you deserve something or earn something through effort rather than through alignment. Alignment is how you let it in. So you could answer that question for yourself. You can find the words. We'll give you a way to find them. Can you think of a scenario when you feel the most uncomfortable about money?
Having to go to work.
So
no, seriously.
We understand go to work, but there's something deeper there because Esther's at work, and you should read what she writes on a morning like this about getting to do this. So you don't mean going to work, you mean answering someone else's request for how I spend my time rather than my own. You're not talking about going to work, you're talking about not feeling free to choose. Yes. And yet working for someone else, there are so many people. It's really a wonderful thing that Esther's staff is willing to be cooperative components in all of this. Esther couldn't do this on her own. Not even close to it. So those that you're working for, they've got momentum going already, some sort of alignment. And if you could feel appreciation for tapping into that alignment and that momentum, it's giving you some form of life. So you don't mean going to work, you mean say what you really mean.
Well, I know I'm on the verge of working for myself.
But say what you really mean. That doesn't matter. People who work for themselves usually spend more time and action and effort and energy than people that work for someone else. It becomes a 24/7 thing that they want to do, often because they're a cooperative component that's just called and called and called and called to it because it's satisfaction. So it's still not whether you're working for someone else or for yourself. It's still something else. What do you think it is? We asked you a question and you gave us a very direct and accurate answer. It's when I have to go to work. But what is it about that feels so off to you?
It's no longer necessary. It's too hard. It's too labor intense. It's too much in the physical.
Well, maybe. But we got to tell you, Esther did a twice monthly in the middle of the night last night. In other words, plenty to do, always something to do. Labor intensive. In other words, there's lots to do. Got to get on an airplane, got to go somewhere. In other words, there's always stuff to do. It's not about the action. What is it about? What's causing the resistance within you? It's not about the action. We see you all. You complain about having too much to do, and then you climb mountains. So it isn't about that. What do you think it is?
I want to have joy in what I do.
We know you do. I want to have joy in what I do. So what is it that you're talking about when you pick this subject of work? What is it you're reaching for? We talked about it earlier. It's that freedom to choose, freedom to be the one who decides. We're going to give you a very short phrase. And it is our promise to you that as you play with this over the next few days, maybe weeks, you're going to understand what we're talking about here in that freedom to choose.
Okay.
You've got some things that you're already trending about. In other words,
yeah, they've already started. I'm so excited.
Well, that's not what we're talking about. We're talking about the idea of going to work. We're talking about the idea of paying the bills. We're talking about the idea of that stuff that's in motion now that you are not wanting to do. But in the not wanting to do it, you're not cashing in your vibrational chips. That's not the way to do that.
Okay.
So this is the way to soften that. If you're going to go to work on Monday, let's say, we're just filling that in. make a decision that you're going to do it, and then line up with it. And by lining up with it, we mean try to find the perspective that your inner being has about it. Don't line up against it. That makes it miserable. No matter what it is you're doing, it's miserable if you're doing it and not lined up with it.
No, when I go to work, I have fun. I make sure that when in my morning meditations that I'm not going to go to work unless it's fun.
We are not disagreeing with you. We know you do that sometimes. But your overall conclusion about that is it's something that you don't want to do. And if you really are lining up incrementally with this and this and this and this, it's not going to lock you into work that you don't want to do. It's going to free you from the resistance that's keeping you from cashing in your vibrational chips.
Got it.
You heard that, didn't you?
I got that.
In other words, it seems counterintuitive. It feels like if I let the universe know that I'm happy at work today, they're just going to stop thinking about me, and I'm going to be stuck in this rotten job for the rest of my life, and I'm never going to get to do the fun things I want. That is not how it works. When you line up with your inner being and experience as much joy and appreciation as you can wherever you are, you offer less and less resistance on more and more topics, and you become more and more of a cooperative component to what's already in your vortex, and then it starts seeping into your experience in this way, in the form of an idea, in the form of meeting someone who has a really good idea, in the form of something that you didn't even know that you had coming to you, flowing into your experience, in the form of a lottery ticket or an insurance thing that you didn't know that you had, or a good idea on buying some stock or something. Ideas will flow to you, but they cannot flow to you when your stance is, I don't like what I'm doing. I want to work for myself. I want to be self-employed. That'll get you nowhere as you push against working for someone else.
That's true.
Do you know what working for someone else really is? It's working with someone else. You know what working with someone else is? Being a cooperative component. Do you know what being cooperative components to other humans will bring you? Way more, way more. The synergy of a whole lot of people coming together with an intention. Look what's going on in this room today. You all got up early, drove some distance, sat here a long time. We're excited when the thing finally started. And feel what's going on here. This has never been before, not like this, not with this clarity, not with this understanding, not this much motion forward in 1 hour's time. Can you feel it? Can you feel the cooperative component that you've been? That's what showing up and feeling good does, you see. This is a really good time for a segment of refreshment.
Thank you.